Today's learning target is I can find the volume of rectangular and triangular prisms. Today we're going to be talking about how to find the volume of some different types of prisms. Volume is the measurement of how many cubes will fit inside of a three-dimensional figure. So here we have a cube, and the volume would be how many of these cubes would fit inside of this figure. So it's the amount of space that is taken up inside of a figure. So when we found area, we measured that in squares, but when we're finding volume, we're going to measure that in cubes. Now to find the volume of a rectangular prism, we're going to use one of two formulas. Okay, we can either use the formula volume equals big B times H, and the big B stands for the area of the base. Now you can always tell what the base is because there will be two of them in the three-dimension figure, and they will be the exact same and they'll be parallel to each other. So in this case I have a base right here and I can see it's a rectangle. So I'd find the area, the big B, of that rectangle, and then I times it by the height of the prism. Now the other way I could do this is I could say volume equals the length times the width, because that is how I find the area of the base. Okay, and that's what I did right here. So it's the same thing. And then I'm just going to times that by the height. So basically I'm taking the base, the area of the base, and then timesing it by the height. Alright, let's find the volume of this rectangular prism. So I'm going to start off with my formula, writing down my formula, which is just what you'll do today as well. Remember, I can use either one of these formulas because, as you're going to see, you'll plug in the exact same numbers. So here's my formula. Next, I plug in my numbers. So remember, big B is the volume of the base. So here's my base right here, and I can see that's a rectangle. And I know to find the volume of a rectangle, I just do length times width. That's why I could do this in place of the B. So my length and my width are right here, 4.2 and 3. So I plug those numbers in. And then my height that I plugged in was 5 right here. So that's where I plugged in the height. Now once I calculate that out, I ended up getting 63 when I multiplied that. And the last thing I have to remember is my label. So in this case I'm dealing with centimeters. So I'm going to put centimeters in for these. And then I measure volume in cubes. So it's 63 centimeters cubed because there's 3 dimensions, and that's essentially what this means when we write cubed. So you could say this 63 centimeters cubed or 63 cubic centimeters. And that means that there would be 63 cubes that would fit inside of this thing if those cubes measured 1 centimeter for each of the dimensions. Now let's take a look at triangular prisms. And so when we're finding the volume of triangular prisms, okay, just like what we were just doing, the volume is going to be how many cubes will fill up in this case, a triangular prism. So to do that, we can use the same formula that we just used for the rectangular prism, where we take the volume, and to find that, it's going to be the big B, or in this case, the base of the triangle times the height. Now we know, again, remember, which is the base, because the base, there's going to be 2 of the exact same measurement, and they're going to be parallel to each other. Now if you remember, the area of a triangle equals 1/2 the base times the height. So really our formula here is the volume equals the big B, which is the area of the base of the triangle. So this big B actually is going to be 1/2 the base times the height, and then I'll times that by the height. So another way to look at it would be just like this. Okay, volume equals, here's the big B, that's the area of the base, which is the area of a triangle, that's how I find the area of a triangle, and then times it by the height. So let's take a look now at how to find the volume of a triangular prism. So here again we start with our formula, so volume equals big B times H. So to find the big B, okay, that's going to be the area of the base. So the area of this triangle, I use 1/2 the base times the height to find that, because that's the formula for the area of a triangle. And then I'll times that by the height when I'm done. So I plugged in the numbers to my formula. The base of my triangle was 6 centimeters, because this was 6 centimeters. Height was 2, and then the overall height was 7. And once I solved that, I got 42 cubic centimeters. So again, this is what I should see in your work today.